Hey, Kevin, house cleaning?
Practicing scrubbing my teeth, yeah. So this is some 16 gauge aluminum sheet, 4043 I think it is, and a stainless steel brush, and just want to clean up the edges just a little bit. And what I've got here is a Parker spool gun for aluminum, and it's hooked up to the Everlast MTS 275 Lightning, and I was trying it out. Never used this spool gun with this machine before, so I thought, what the heck, let's stick some stuff together, let's see how well it works. A couple of nice little features on the gun. Onboard wire feed control right here, so you don't have to walk back to the machine to do it. Inside the feed of the gun, in here, it's got this little clamp and this little idler wheel. This is the feed roller here, and you can just barely see the aluminum sticking through it. And you just feed it off of your spool down through, close this up that way, tighten this guy up, that pulls the idler in against your feed wheel. Now the aluminum is pinched, now it's going to feed when you pull the trigger. One other nice little feature on this gun, inside where the spool goes, there's a brake. This little brake sits here and runs up against the spool, so as you're feeding, as you're welding and the spool is unwinding, it's going to keep it from continuing the spool for a second, or if you're shaking the gun around or something, it keeps the spool from moving, keeps you from getting a big rat's nest inside there. So this is the control screen on this Lightning MTS 275. And how do you set up the spool gun? It's easy. You scroll down through your menu over here until you get to MIG aluminum. And this window is going to pop up. You're going to hit your left arrow. It's going to come up to control. If we go into control, you see 2T spool gun or 4T. So you can have either combination there. You're just going to go to, I'm going to go to 2T and spool gun. I'm going to say home, and now the spool gun is live. It's ready to go. So you just set whatever other parameters you want, like pre-flow, your starting wire feed speed, upslope, burn back, I've got that turned off. The upslope is turned off. The spot stitch timer, that's turned off. Downslope, 0, and end wire feed at 60, and post flow at 0.7. The wire feed is now adjusted over at the gun, and my voltage right now is at 16.3. So I figured, let me just throw my helmet on. I'll just hold up some of these pieces of 16 gauge, and let's do some tacks. That way I can check my settings. So let's make some sparks. Let's just go ahead and run a bead and see what we get. Okay, so started out right there. Little shaky, that's me. Burned through in a couple of spots. That was me again. And then I sped up a little bit, little faster forward motion. That looks a little better in there, but I might just mess with some of the settings anyways. A little more wire, see if I can get pulse on this, see if that would help. Maybe lower the voltage just a tiny little bit. So I dropped the voltage just a little. It was at 16.5. I dropped it down to 15.5. All right, let's try it with a little less wire feed. Let's try it with a little more wire feed. Let's pull it instead. So I pushed from here, and that, I wasn't really happy with that portion of it. So I went to the other side, same, and up the wire feed just a little bit with the control on the gun, and pulled it back this way. And that smoothed it out a little. And then once I got back down in here where the metal had already been preheated from this weld, it smoothed out quite a bit. So I still want to mess with the settings a little bit, you know, try the inductance up and down a little, see what that does, how that works out. But I think this is really going to help me a lot on this big aluminum sculpture I'm working on. So, you know, rather than having to, you know, TIG overhead or have these long runs that I have to TIG, I can come in and spool it and then just come back with the grinder and smooth it all off, blend it all in. Look just like it's all one piece of metal. Be quite nice when I get done with it. So that's the Everlast Lightning MTS 275 with the Parker spool gun on it for aluminum. I'm Kevin Caron. You're my very favorite people because you're out there watching me. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to stop by my website and see what's going on out there, www.kevincaron.com, and I'll see y'all next time. Bond, James Bond.